everybody, it's Ashley with the Haircut Box. I'm gonna show you how to give a really good boys basic haircut. I feel like everybody should learn how to give this haircut because it's the basics of learning how to do boys hair. And then once you learn how to do this and you learn all of these skills to do the basics, then you can build on it and you can basically create any haircut you want. So I'm going to put my blades close together so it's a true two, and I'm going to start right here in front of the ear and just go all the way up until about the temples of his hair. So notice how I'm putting these clippers really nice and flush on his head. Also, remember that the ear bends. So I know that that ear is in the way, but when you're coming around the back of the ear, you can push that ear, bend that ear all the way forward, and you can turn your clippers a little bit diagonal and make sure you're getting all of that little hair that sometimes gets caught right behind the ear. Also, you'll want to keep your left hand on the top of their head. So when you do this back part, instead of the clippers, see how they don't really fit right there with his shoulder? You can simply put the head down, and then that creates a whole bunch of more room for you to use those clippers. And then when you come around the back, then you just put it forward and keep going around the head. Okay, so now I've done this very first section of the haircut with clippers. Number 2 guard. Now I'm just going to simply move my lever down to make it a 2.5. And this is where I'm going to start blending. So I'm going to come up. You can hear when the hair starts to be cut with the clippers. And when it comes in your clippers, listen to this, right there, that's when you rock the clippers away from the head. Now don't be worried about putting pressure. Like I'm not just like lightly going like this. I'm still putting it against the head and rocking it away. If you don't put it against the head, you're not going to get a very even blend. So I'm going to come all the way around the head. Now you can see that right here in his rooster, it will stick up. So I'll show you how to cut that so it's not going to stick up. So you keep coming all the way around the head, rocking those clippers away from the head. Then I'm going to change my guard to a number 3 guard, put the lever up so it's a true 3, and I'm going to do the same process again. So when you're changing guards and going up in length, the goal is not to cut a lot and a lot higher, it's just to get the blend. So don't think that you need to go up like an inch with every guard length. This is what the clipper part should look like. Okay, now we've done the clipper side. Now we're going to do the top. Make sure you're getting the top really wet. The more wet it is, the more control you have of the hair. Then I'm going to create a mohawk section right down the middle of the head. So right here in between the eyes, I'm going to section that, and then section another part. Now, if you haven't watched my tutorial on how to easily get a part in the boy's hair, make sure you do that. Okay, so that's my mohawk section. I'm going to comb this part up, and I'm going to decide how long I want this top part. So I'm going to cut off maybe like a 1/4 inch. Now this first cut is what you're going to match everything to. So once I cut that first part, then I'm going to comb the rest of the mohawk up, and that's where I have cut, and so that's where I need to match. And just keep going all the way back with that mohawk cut, matching everything to that first cut. So you can see all of that mohawk section is the same length. Then you're going to comb the mohawk section to one side, and you're going to take vertical sections. So you're going to take little sections this way, and you're going to comb everything up and cut to match that mohawk section. So I've taken one, now I'm going to take another little section, comb that up, cut. See how I'm matching where this is where I have cut, and this is where I need to cut, and I'm just going to match everything to this length. Now sometimes you're going to make 2 parts of the same cut, if that makes sense, because you really only want to cut from your first knuckle to the end of your finger. And so see when I'm pulling it up how I've got a full finger length worth of hair. You really only want to cut until your first knuckle, and then you're going to comb that section up again and match. I know that sometimes the back of the haircut can be tricky and somewhat of a nightmare, but let me show you how easy it can actually be. So, you know, when you do the top, you do that middle mohawk section. Then you take vertical sections and you match everything to that mohawk section. So when you get to the back, all you simply have to do is still find your mohawk section and pivot around with your cutting sections using that same guide. Let me show you how this works. So you're going to take that up, pull that straight up, just like you did on this side. You're going to take another section, you're going to pull it straight up to that middle mohawk section and match everything to that same guide that you just cut the side. If you're running into the problem where you cannot get this back part to stick down, let me show you an easy trick. So all you have to do is find your middle mohawk section guide and your clipper guide right there and right there. You're going to take vertical sections. See, there's my middle mohawk guide from the top. There's my clipper guide. All I have to do is cut the problem out. So you want to angle your fingers down. Then you're going to take another little section and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to find your guide and find your guide, and you're going to create a straight line. So a lot of times we don't need to deal with our problems. We just need to figure out a way that they won't be there anymore. So I'm going to cut it out right there and right there. Now, sometimes it's not a perfect blend, so you'll still probably need to do your clippers and your comb. And sometimes I hit it a few times with the texturing shears just to thin it out and keep that hair laying down. Okay, so I've done this side. Now I'm just going to comb the mohawk section over to the other side, and I'm going to make the same cuts. Now, if you're taking too big of sections, this is where you will run into the problem of creating cut marks in their hair. So make sure that you're still taking pretty decently small sections on the top. Okay, so once that section is done, now I'm going to work on the bangs. So I'm going to pull them straight forward. You can see how he has a cowlick right here and a cowlick right there. He usually kind of pushes his hair to the side. So I don't want to take them super short. So I'm going to turn my scissors to an angle, and I'm just going to take off the very fronts of those bangs. Then I'm going to pull the top section up into the unicorn horn angle. The reason I call it the unicorn horn angle is because it's the angle that a unicorn horn angle would come off their head. I know, pretty profound, right? So I'm going to take that up. I'm going to find the top section, and I'm going to find the length of the bang. Then sometimes it's just a tiny bit, but you're going to connect those two with a straight line, and you're going to come all along that hairline and connect that. So those bangs are done. Now all we have to do is work on the blend. So you're going to take your guard off the clipper, you're going to put your blades close together, and you're going to take your comb. Then you're going to put it straight up into the hair. So I do not want to round into this hair, because if I round into this hair, I'm going to take all of this hair that is cute for styling off. So make sure that you are keeping your comb straight up. You can always round it to get the hair in the comb and then straighten that. You're going to put it up. As soon as you see the hair out of the comb, that's when you're going to put your clipper over the comb and you're going to slide it over. Now this section, or this part, will take a little bit of some work, but I promise you this is going to be the best way to blend really well, and you will get better, you will get faster. So once you are done with one section, then you're going to just move on back to the next section. And once you're, so like I'm bringing my comb up, see how I don't have any more hair to cut once I'm just moving it up? Then once you don't have any more hair, then you move on to the next section. Now I'm going to come around here with, right here where this rooster is, right? Now this is where I can turn my comb a few different ways to make sure I'm getting a good blend. If you are blending with your clipper and your comb right here in the back, you are going to want to put your comb in the opposite way the hair grows. For instance, if you have a little boy whose hair grows this direction, if you put your comb in this direction, you're basically just going to comb the hair down. So you'll want to put it in the other way to help lift the hair up so you can get a really good blend. Now, most times I teach you when you're blending with your clipper and your comb to keep your comb straight up like this. In this instance, you can turn your comb any way you want, any way that you're going to get a good blend right here on the back. Go for it.
That looks good.
Are you looking good?
Yeah.
We are almost done. All we have left to do is the outline. This is where you want to grab your trimmers, and we're going to put a straight line right in front of the ear. Then you're going to turn it and use this end, pull the ear a little bit out, go right next to the hairline. You're going to bend the ear forward, use the other end of the trimmer, go around the ear, and you're going to connect those two dots. So remember, a haircut is all about connecting the dots. Even the outline is about connecting the dots. You do a straight line, half circle around this way, half circle around this way, and make sure that there's no unwanted hair right here in this tricky part of the top of the ear. Put your left hand on the top of their head. Push their head forward. This will tighten the skin. Then you're going to make a straight line down. The reason you want to tighten the skin is because you don't want any loose skin for the trimmer to grab it. So you're going to make a straight line down, and then you're going to turn your trimmers around, and you're going to use this part, and you're going to take all of that fuzzy hair off of their neck. Now, if they really do have a fuzzy neck, make sure that you're undoing this cape, and you're going to go below the t-shirt line. No one wants a neckline and then still have hair before or above their t-shirt. So you're gonna come all the way down and get all of that fuzzy hair off. Then you're going to push the head forward. A lot of times if they've got a big divot right here, it will flatten it out. But you wanna push the head forward, really make sure it's even, and go as close to the hairline as possible. You do not wanna go up too high, and you're going to create a straight line. Once you've created that straight line with the edge of your trimmer, then put the head up and take a step back so you can really make sure that it's straight. If you need to make any changes, this is where you make changes. Go up a little bit higher on one side, and then you turn the trimmer around and you get those fuzzies off the neck again, and then you do the same thing on the other side. Okay, this haircut is finished. It looks so good. I honestly feel like everyone needs to know how to do a basic cut. The cool thing about a basic cut is you can style it any way you want. You can push it up in a faux hawk, you can push it to the side, you can leave it down. Anyway, it's such a universal haircut that everyone needs to know. All the steps are very basic and very fundamental to any haircut that you will eventually want to cut. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you try this. Let me know how it goes for you.